As I absent-mindedly scroll through my Facebook feed, it's striking to note how many pleas there are to the year 2020 to just relent and go back under the rock it crawled out from under. 2020 sucks. Enough already, 2020. 2020, you've gone too far this time. This is the 2020th day of a 2020 full of 2020th days. I asked my mother if her offer to slap me into next year was still on the table. And on and on. Sometimes it's enough to make you feel like a decapitated Barbie doll head, lolling about in the desert, having been run over by a Jeep Cherokee. We have lost so much in so short a time. An administration that has brought this country to an unimaginable place of division and weakness. A brutal pandemic that, as of this date, has claimed the lives of over 210,000 Americans. Unrelenting wildfires that have sent smoke clear across the world, hundreds of thousands of migrating birds taking a nosedive out of the sky in a mysterious mass die-off, social unrest continuing to bubble out of the cauldron of systemic racism, the untimely death of feminist icon warrior Ruth Bader Ginsburg on the eve of Rosh Hashanah, capped that evening by a 4.5 earthquake, as if Mother Nature herself were in mourning as well. The prospect of a contentious Supreme Court confirmation battle, and the latest, coronavirus kicking in the front door of the White House. And these are just the things I can tick off the top of my head. It's easy to believe we are perilously close to doomsday. As Margaret Wise Brown wrote in her children's book, Good Night, Moon, good night, Zoom, good night, sense of impending doom. Perhaps that is not an exact quote. I cribbed it from a Facebook meme, so I just assumed it was accurate. Regardless, we're all in some stage of grief, and if we ever get to 2021, many of us are likely to be exhibiting some symptoms of post-traumatic stress disorder. But I believe it is possible to completely cure grief and post-trauma symptoms. All you have to do is restore that which was lost or destroyed. Of course, when that is not possible, everything else must be a plan B. The world is full of plan Bs. Some are not so bad, but they're never going to be what we had. And such is life. We do our best, we hope for the best, and we help others to do their best. If there's one thing trauma brings into sharp focus, it is that there is a reason that good is revered and promoted because evil hurts so badly. And yet, many prefer to hurt others in response to their own pain. Humans today are injured far more by interpersonal trauma than by natural events and accidents. Clearly, we have to do more to reduce interpersonal trauma. The good news is that we can make a positive difference through love, compassion, mercy, forgiveness, humility, and empathy. Have you ever noticed that every list of virtues is filled with qualities that are other-focused and beneficent, while every list of vices is filled with behaviors that are self-centered and willfully destructive? I think most people realize this implicitly, but they have not really thought about it explicitly or consider the implications. In the 1978 movie The Deer Hunter, there is a gut-wrenchingly disturbing scene of Russian roulette played out by Christopher Walken and Robert De Niro. Walken's character is a lost soul of the Vietnam War, trapped in the darkest pits of opium addiction and despair. Yet Walken's character is sympathetic and worthy of pity. There are those today who play Russian roulette with their lives and those of others, and they should know better. Pride is one of the 7 deadly sins, and arrogance is one of its subsets. It can be a challenge to find sympathy and be compassionate for them that suffer the effects of their behavior. Schadenfreude is the experience of pleasure, joy, or self-satisfaction that comes from learning of or witnessing the troubles, failures, or humiliation of another. Schadenfreude is a fancy German word for retaliation, which is one of the subsets of anger, another of the 7 deadly sins. It literally means harm joy. God bless the Germans and their propensity for words that tell it like it is. Many of us struggle with our own feelings of harm joy with those that arrogantly and blatantly play Russian roulette with their lives and those of others. Call it political theater, call it propaganda. But from gassing protesters to taking a joyride in the limo to the little mask stunt back on the White House steps, our president will put people's lives at risk for the mere appearance of strength and health. That is moral failure on full display. There are other examples of moral failure too. I'm just highlighting this one theme. How many times can a person turn their head and pretend they just don't see? I think an old Bob Dylan song asks a similar question, and the answer is probably still the same too. In an age filled with vices, we must intentionally seek to counter with the virtues. Maybe not all at once, and not all the time, but we need to make an effort to selflessly live lives focused on making the lives of others better. In return, we will redeem the tragedies and outshine the evil that others loose on our world. Our dreams may be tossed and blown, but we must continue to walk on through the wind and rain. Yeah, it's a tall order, but well worth the effort, because it's not yet too late to redeem 2020.